To answer the question, before I get started, how we engage students in the age of smartphones and computers and virtual reality is we visit them in person. I've spent the last week, actually, and I work at a school, as I'll tell you in a little bit, that has many different art forms. So we have performing and visual arts at our school. And I was traveling in India this past week with the dean of our dance school because we've been so impressed with the dance that we've seen here. And we were here purposefully in person to have conversations with the students that way. And we do the same with art and we do the same with music. So of course we have an online presence, but we find that nothing really replaces meeting students in person. So that's how we go about that. I am the Vice President of Enrollment at the California Institute of the Arts, also known as CalArts. And so that I put my comments today in a little bit of context, let me tell you just a little bit about my school. CalArts is a unique art college that houses 6 separate schools of the arts all under one roof. We have a School of Art, a School of Critical Studies, a School of Dance, a School of Film Video, a School of Music, and a School of Theater. And my job is to help find, enroll, and graduate talented artists pursuing bachelor's and master's degrees in the fine art areas of the different colleges. CalArts, and I think this is the first probably obvious way that we are very directly related to America's soft power, is that we're very directly connected to Hollywood. Students and graduates of CalArts work in the movie and entertainment industry, which is the largest business in Hollywood, of course, and one of the largest industries in Los Angeles. Not so coincidentally, CalArts was founded by Walt Disney and his brother Roy. So of course we're very, very well connected to that sector. Our School of Film Video is very closely connected to Hollywood and the film industry, but all of our schools, our School of Art, our School of Music, they're connected to the entertainment industry in Los Angeles. So there's a very practical application for our students quite immediately while they're students and when they graduate. Perhaps the most famous area that we're known for is animation, which is an art form that is taught in our film video school. We count among our animation graduates many of the most iconic animators in America. One of the co-founders of Pixar, John Lasseter, is a graduate of CalArts. The famous animated movies that you might know, Monsters, Inc. and Inside Out, were directed by Academy Award winner Pete Docter, who also is a graduate of CalArts. Pete Docter was also one of 3 key writers for the movies, all the Toy Story animated movies. Tim Burton, known for his gothic and eccentric movies, Edward Scissorhands and Beetlejuice, also studied at CalArts, and there's many more. The influence of animation as an art form, as soft power is in the US, very directly connected to CalArts. I think animation as it is connected to Disney and Pixar is as influential a form of art and design as soft power that I can think of. But of course, not only animation, but fine art and design and many other forms of visual art are also filled with examples of art as soft power. And CalArts has graduated many of America's great contemporary artists. Carrie Mae Weems, Mark Bradford, and Sofia Coppola, just to name a few. Interesting to me, as I was kind of thinking about what I'd talk about today, and hopefully interesting to you, is to look at an effect of soft power on the work of an art school. Using American art schools as an example, I know that soft power of art and design in countries all over the world, it influences art schools. It influences American art schools and what they do and where they go and how they look for students. It certainly influenced me, and it's influenced my activities and my decisions in the 3 different fine art schools that I've worked at throughout my career. Not only is it part of the way I personally learn and think about the different countries that I've visited, but it's a huge part of why my school is interested in the students from these countries. Specifically speaking for CalArts, we're a school of only 1,500 students, yet we have 50 different countries represented in our school. 1 out of every 4 students at CalArts is an international student, a student from outside the United States. In this year, in the last couple of years, applicant pool, 80 different countries were represented in our applications to our school. Admissions activities alone, including what I did and what my staff do, visit 15 to 20 different countries annually in search of talented students. And I can tell you that the applications from India are on the rise. India has moved this year from number 4 to number 3 for us, with China and South Korea as number 1 and 2. But it's on the rise, and South Korea is actually on the decline with applications to our school. As I mentioned this past week, I was traveling looking for dance, and I know that's for another panel earlier today, but part of the reason we do that is because we know that dance is prevalent here in India, and it's unique here in India, so here we are. That has influenced our decision to be here. We aren't here just because we wanted to be here, we're here because we know that there's talent and interest in something very special in India in the artistic world. I didn't need to convince other faculty, but I did need to convince our dance dean, so that's why I brought him. We choose the countries in which we recruit, in part due to the soft power of the art and design that comes out of those countries. So we value artists with diverse perspectives at CalArts. We look for that. We want to add to our school and our student body students who have a very diverse perspective. Young artists bring to CalArts a perspective and a creativity and a unique voice that represents the soft power of the arts from their home country. So this is another way. It's not just the art from the school, not art from the country. It's not just the art forms that are in the country, but it's the way the students who come from that country may be influenced. Some of our students come and they're very well versed in many of the art forms, the historical and cultural art forms from their country, but not all of them, but they're all influenced by it, and it gives their voice a very different texture, which we find very appealing. A very specific example, and then I'll close, is to say that it's not coincidental that CalArts admitted a large number of Indian photographers this past year. These artists, these photographers may not even be producing work that is obvious to you or to anybody. It's not necessarily obvious that they're influenced by Indian art. But when you start to compare their work to other students, to other applicants, it's very clear that they're influenced by the culture and the art of India. And that makes their work unique. That makes them very interesting to us. And so that's another influence of Indian art as soft power. I'm going to leave it there. I hope what I shared makes some sense, that there's this obvious, iconic influence of a soft power influence of Indian art, but then there's this kind of much more subtle influence that comes out through the students, and it's that we're very interested in. So thank you very much.